For thousands of years, civilizations have risen and fallen. Currencies have come and gone. But through all of history, one thing has remained constant: gold. Why? Why gold and not any other metal? Why is it that when markets crash, when economies collapse, and when chaos spreads, the world turns to gold? This isn't just about beauty or rarity, it's about science, psychology, myth, and memory. This is the story of how gold became the world's ultimate safe haven asset. 1. The chemistry of permanence. Let's begin with science. Gold is element number 79 on the periodic table. It's part of the noble metals group, along with platinum and a few others, which means it resists corrosion and oxidation. Most metals react with air and water. Iron rusts, copper turns green, silver tarnishes. But gold stays gold for thousands of years, without a single chemical reaction. This chemical stability isn't just convenient, it's rare. Only a handful of elements in the entire periodic table can match it. That's why ancient golden artifacts, like Tutankhamun's burial mask from 1323 BC, still gleam as if they were made yesterday. Gold's resistance to time is not poetic, it's scientific. 2. A myth older than money. Now let's go back even further, before banks, before coins, before nations. In ancient Sumeria, over 5,000 years ago, gold was already seen as a gift from the gods. In Hindu mythology, gold is connected to Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth. The Egyptians believed gold was the flesh of the sun god Ra. Pharaohs were buried in gold to carry their power into the afterlife. But here's the kicker. These civilizations had no contact with each other, yet all of them, separately, chose gold as their symbol of wealth and immortality. Coincidence? Or something deeper? Gold didn't just become valuable because of trade, it was already imbued with sacred meaning across the globe. 3. The perfect balance. Rare, but not too rare. Let's come back to Earth for a moment. Literally, gold is incredibly rare in the Earth's crust, only about 0.05 parts per million. But it's not too rare. If it were as scarce as, say, rhodium, it wouldn't be practical to use as money. What makes gold special is that sweet spot. It's rare enough to be precious, but common enough to be mined, minted, and moved. That's why the entire supply of gold ever mined in human history, over 6,000 years, could fit inside a cube, about 22 meters on each side. That's smaller than a tennis court. And yet this small supply has supported empires, economies, and entire monetary systems. 4. Gold, the original standard. Did you know the first known gold coins were minted around 600 BCE in Lydia, a kingdom in modern-day Turkey? From there, gold spread across Greece, Persia, Rome, and beyond. For centuries, the gold standard governed global trade. Nations backed their currencies with physical gold, stored in vaults. In fact, the US dollar was tied to gold until 1971, when President Nixon ended the Bretton Woods system. Since then, fiat currencies have been backed by nothing but trust. And guess what happened after that? Gold prices skyrocketed from $35 an ounce in 1971 to over $2,000 in modern times. Because when trust falters, people return to something they can see, hold, and weigh. 5. Gold in crisis. Fact versus panic. Let's bust a myth. Gold always goes up in a crisis. That's not entirely true. Gold doesn't just rise because of panic. It rises when people lose faith in their systems. During the 2008 financial crash, gold prices surged as investors fled banks and stocks. In 2020, during COVID-19, gold hit new records again. But gold doesn't act like a stock. It doesn't promise fast returns. What it promises is preservation. Not growth, but survival. That's why it's called a safe haven. not a rocket ship. 6. Why the human brain trusts gold. There's a psychological reason too. Gold is visually unique. Its warm yellow color is not replicated by any other metal in its pure form. Neurologically, we associate it with light, the sun, and warmth. Our ancestors valued it because it was rare and beautiful, but not too useful in tools. That made it perfect for rituals and trade without being consumed. Even today, studies show that people perceive gold-colored objects as more valuable, regardless of actual worth. It's not just culture, it's brain chemistry. 7. Why other metals just don't work. Iron rusts, copper oxidizes, silver tarnishes. Platinum is rare and stable, but too difficult to shape and historically unknown in many early cultures. And diamonds? They're not uniform. Each one is different, subjective, and prone to price manipulation. In contrast, gold is divisible, measurable, durable, portable, and universally recognizable. It checks every box needed for a long-term store of value. Even Bitcoin, often called digital gold, still borrows its metaphor from the real thing. 8. Gold. Today, still the standard. Central banks still buy and hoard gold. Countries like China and Russia have increased gold reserves to reduce reliance on the US dollar. Even Germany has repatriated its gold from New York and Paris. Why? Because when trust in paper fails, gold is the fallback. It's apolitical, tangible, and immune to inflation. As of today, over $13 trillion of wealth is stored in physical gold globally. That's not an ancient relic. That's modern strategy. Gold is not just a metal. It is memory. It is myth. It is math. It is science, scarcity, and psychology, all rolled into one. It doesn't just sparkle. It anchors, it preserves, it endures. And when the world burns, gold doesn't melt. It shines. That is why gold, not silver, not platinum, not paper, not crypto, gold remains the world's safe haven asset. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, share it with someone curious about wealth and history, and subscribe for more deep dives into the truths that shape our world.